Did you know that there is a simple 2-minute workout that can dramatically improve the way you walk after 60? So many people begin to accept unsteady steps, that cautious, slow shuffle, and the constant fear of falling as something that naturally comes with getting older. But it does not have to be that way. The encouraging truth is that there is a science-based method that strengthens the exact muscles and balance systems that protect you from falls. And it takes only a couple of minutes a day. In this video, you will learn that method along with the 4 exercises you need to walk safely and confidently, especially if you are over 60. Before we get into the exercises, there is something important we need to talk about because it affects your mobility more than you may realize. Scientists have discovered that after 60, a decline in hip strength, leg strength, and core stability combined with subtle balance changes becomes the #1 reason older adults are more likely to fall. These weaknesses develop quietly year after year, and if you leave them unaddressed, they can make simple tasks like walking up the stairs or standing up from a chair feel shaky or even risky. The good news is that these changes are reversible. Research shows that even in your 60s, 70s, and older, you can strengthen these muscles and improve your balance with just 2 minutes a day when you do the right exercises. But here is the catch. Not all exercises are effective, and doing the wrong ones or skipping the key muscles can waste your time or even increase your fall risk. That is why in this video you will learn the 4 essential exercises that target the muscles responsible for safe and steady walking, along with a simple routine you can follow, no matter your current fitness level, plus easier and more challenging variations so you can practice safely and confidently. And before we begin, I would love to know where you are joining me from today, so please leave your first name and your country in the comments below. Let us start with the first exercise, and I want you to hear this clearly because it might be the most important movement you can practice as you get older. It is called the single leg balance, and researchers at the Mayo Clinic found something remarkable about it. Your ability to stand on one leg for just 10 seconds can predict your longevity and your risk of falling more accurately than almost any other physical test. That sounds simple, almost too simple, but it tells us a lot about how your body is aging. Balance is not just about your legs. It is a conversation between your brain, your inner ear, your vision, and all the small stabilizing muscles around your ankles and hips. When one part of that system weakens, everything else has to work harder, and that is when those wobbly moments begin to show up in daily life. The beauty of this exercise is that it wakes those stabilizer muscles up. It sharpens your proprioception, which is your body's internal GPS, and it teaches your core to switch on automatically to keep you steady. This is the kind of training that carries over into real life, the kind that helps you stay stable when you step off a curb, walk in a crowded store, or move through your house in the evening. Here is how to practice it safely. Stand next to a sturdy chair or counter because having that support within reach is smart, not a sign of weakness. Place your feet hip-width apart and gently shift your weight onto your right leg. Then lift your left foot just a few inches off the ground. It does not need to be high, even an inch counts. Keep your standing knees soft and imagine a string lifting the top of your head upward. Hold that position for 10 to 30 seconds while breathing naturally, then lower your foot and switch sides. Do this 3 times on each leg. You may notice one side feels steadier than the other, and that is perfectly normal. That difference is exactly why this exercise works. It not only strengthens your body, but also builds confidence. And confidence is one of the strongest shields you have against falling. If you are still here with me, I would truly appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and if you are enjoying the clarity of these explanations, please consider subscribing so we can keep learning and moving forward together. Now let us move into the second exercise, the heel-to-toe walk. And this one is especially important because it trains your body to stay steady on a narrow path, something you use every single day without even thinking about it. As we get older, many people start to widen their steps without noticing, almost like the way toddlers walk when they are still learning. It feels safer in the moment, but over time it actually reduces your ability to take strong, confident steps. That is why this exercise matters so much. It retrains your body to move with control on a slimmer base, which is exactly what you need when you walk along a curb, weave through a crowd, or move through your home at night. What makes this even more encouraging is the research behind it. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults who practice the heel-to-toe walk for just 2 minutes a day improved their balance scores by 43% in only 4 weeks. That is a remarkable change from such a small amount of time, and it shows you how powerful consistent practice can be. Here is how to do it safely. Find a hallway or a clear space where you can walk in a straight line. If you feel unsure, stay close to a wall so you can lightly touch it for support. Then imagine you are walking along a tightrope. Place your right heel directly in front of your left toes so they almost touch. Then take your next step the same way, placing your left heel in front of your right toes. Move slowly and keep your head lifted, looking forward instead of down. Looking at your feet actually makes balancing harder because it takes away your visual reference point. Continue like this for 10 to 15 steps, focusing on quality, not speed. If 10 steps feel easy, you can add a small challenge by closing your eyes for the last few steps. This removes the help of your vision and forces your body to rely on proprioception, which is the internal sense of where you are in space. It is surprisingly difficult but also incredibly effective. While you practice, something amazing happens inside your brain. Your cerebellum, the part responsible for coordination and balance, begins building new neural pathways. Think of it like strengthening the communication lines between your brain and your body so your movements become smoother and more reliable. If this explanation is easy to follow, type yes in the comments, and if anything feels confusing, type 2, so I know how to make future videos even clearer for you. Now let us talk about the third exercise, the half squat, because this one is all about giving your legs the strength they need for real life. I want you to think about a few simple questions. Can you get up from a chair without using your hands to push yourself up? Can you climb a flight of stairs without grabbing the railing for dear life? Can you get out of the car without that awkward struggle or extra rocking motion? If you hesitated on any of those, it is a sign that your leg strength needs some attention, and you are not alone. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that after 60, leg strength can drop by about 3% every year if you do nothing to maintain it. By the time you reach 80, that can add up to as much as 60% less leg strength than you had at 60. That difference is not just a number on a chart. It is the difference between living independently and needing help with basic daily activities. The good news is that the half squat is one of the best exercises you can do to turn that around. It builds functional strength, the kind you actually use when you stand up from a chair, climb stairs, or lower yourself down to pick something up from the floor. When you practice the half squat, you are training your quadriceps on the front of your thighs to straighten your knees, your glutes to power you upward and help you go up steps, and your hamstrings on the back of your thighs to stabilize your knees and hips so they move in a safe way. Here is how to do it, step by step. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart and let your toes point slightly outward in a natural position. Place your hands on the back of a sturdy chair or on a counter in front of you. This is not cheating, this is smart training because it lets you focus on your legs while staying safe. Imagine there is a chair just behind you and you are about to sit down on it. Gently push your hips back first, then bend your knees and lower your body down about 6 to 8 inches. You do not need to go deep for this to be effective. This is a half squat, not a deep squat. Keep your knees from drifting in front of your toes and try to feel your weight in your heels more than in your toes. Pause for a brief moment at the bottom so you feel your muscles holding you. Then push through your heels to come back up to standing and gently squeeze your glutes at the top to finish the movement. That is 1 repetition. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions, then rest for about 30 seconds and repeat that for 2 more sets if you are able. As you move, there are a few important form tips I want you to remember. Keep your chest lifted and your core gently engaged, as if you are bracing your middle to support your spine. If you let your upper body collapse forward and your back round, you put extra stress on your lower back instead of letting your legs do the work. Think about sitting back into an invisible chair rather than simply bending your knees forward. Breathe out as you press yourself up to standing, because this is when your body is working the hardest, and exhaling helps activate your core and prevents unnecessary spikes in blood pressure. Never hold your breath during strength exercises, especially at our age. If 5 repetitions feel too hard, start with 3 and give yourself credit for that. If 8 repetitions feel too easy, you can make the exercise more challenging without adding more reps by slowing down the movement. Take 3 seconds to lower yourself and 3 seconds to rise back up. This slow tempo makes your muscles work much harder and builds strength in a very safe way. With consistent practice, often in as little as 2 weeks, you will notice real changes in your daily life. Standing up from your favorite chair will feel smoother and less like a struggle. Climbing stairs will not leave you as winded or shaky. When you drop something on the floor, you will be able to squat down with more confidence instead of bending over in a way that feels unstable or risky. This is how the half squat starts to give you back a sense of control over your movements and over your independence. Now let us move into the fourth exercise, the seated leg raise, because this one targets a group of muscles that most people never think about, even though they play a major role in how safely and confidently you walk each day. These are your hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips that lift your legs when you take a step. As we get older, these muscles weaken much faster than we realize, especially if we spend a lot of time sitting. When your hip flexors lose strength, your steps become shorter and lower. Your feet do not clear the ground as well, and that is when the shuffle begins. It is also when tripping over small objects or uneven ground becomes much more likely. The good news is that strengthening these muscles is simple and can be done right from a sturdy chair. Sit tall with your back straight and your feet flat on the floor. Place your hands on the sides of the chair for support and gently draw your belly button toward your spine to activate your core. From there, lift your right leg until it is about parallel to the floor or as high as feels comfortable. Keep your knee straight and focus on squeezing the muscles at the front of your hip and thigh. Hold the leg up for 2 to 3 seconds, then slowly lower it with control. Do not let it drop quickly because the lowering phase is just as important as the lifting. After completing your repetitions on one side, switch to your left leg and repeat the same pattern. If you want to increase the challenge, there are several easy ways to do it without risking injury. You can pull your toes toward your shin as you lift, which adds resistance and makes your shin muscles work harder. You can hold the top position for 5 seconds instead of 2 or 3 to increase the time under tension. And if both legs feel strong and steady, you can lift both at the same time, which dramatically increases the demand on your core and hip flexors. This variation should only be attempted if single leg raises already feel comfortable and controlled. Strengthening your hip flexors makes a real difference in everyday life. It improves your posture by keeping the front of your hips active and balanced. It can reduce lower back discomfort because your core and hips start sharing the workload more evenly. And it helps you take taller, more confident steps, so climbing stairs or stepping over small obstacles feels safer and more natural. Earlier in this video, we talked about the balance exercise where you stand on one leg. Do you remember how many seconds I encouraged you to hold that position? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you are not sure, just type 9 so I know you are following along and staying engaged. You now have all 4 exercises that take less than 2 minutes combined, yet strengthen every major part of the body you rely on to walk safely. The single leg balance builds your stability and sharpens your sense of where your body is in space. The heel-to-toe walk trains your coordination and helps your brain and body communicate more clearly. The half squat gives you the leg strength you need for real daily tasks like getting up from a chair or climbing stairs. The seated leg raises keep your hip flexors strong so your steps stay tall and confident instead of low and shuffling. Together, these movements support balance, coordination, leg strength, and hip mobility, the 4 pillars of steady and secure walking as you age. And here's the most important message I want you to take with you. Consistency always beats intensity. You do not need long workouts or complicated routines. What your body responds to, especially after 60, is repeated gentle practice that teaches your muscles and your nervous system how to work together again. So here is my challenge to you. Try these 4 exercises once a day for the next 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. Mark it on your calendar or set a reminder on your phone and commit to it. Then come back and tell me what you notice. I genuinely want to hear your experience because the changes often appear faster than people expect. Which of these 4 exercises are you going to try first? Comment below and let me know. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone over 60 who might need a little support and encouragement. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss the next video where we will talk about the biggest nutritional mistake people make after 60 that accelerates muscle loss. And remember, Your 80-year-old self will thank you for every small choice you make today to stay strong, steady, and independent.